Hi there, my name is Grace. I'm an employment specialist with INCIGHT. Today I'm going to give you some tips on how to understand the applicant tracking system. The internet has completely transformed the job searching landscape. Long gone is the day when you would pound the pavement and go into local businesses and ask to speak to the manager. Now instead we have the ATS. Applicant tracking systems are human resources software that act as a database for job applicants. There are dozens of different ATS, each with their own features, strengths, weaknesses, and quirks. The main goal of the ATS is to make life easier for recruiters or hiring managers. Companies are often hiring for multiple positions at once and received hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants for each job opening. Because the majority of job seekers are now using this online format, open positions often get far more applications than companies have resources to read. If you are applying for an online position, you need to realize that most large and mid-sized companies utilize automated systems to process candidates. In order to screen large volumes of resumes, employers use this software to help them conduct an initial screening of resumes. These tracking systems screen out or reject an estimated 75% of resumes submitted, either because the documents don't reflect the desired qualifications or are formatted in a way the information is not processed correctly. Basically, the ATS reduces the employer's workload, but makes it more challenging for you as a job seeker to submit a resume that will not be rejected. On a positive note, this new platform of digital submissions has made it easier for job seekers to increase the number of jobs they can apply for. So what is it going to take to get your resume noticed? And how can you make the cut and get selected for an interview? Applicant tracking systems can be an impersonal and puzzling hurdle for those seeking employment. But there are advantages for job seekers as well as disadvantages. It is important to understand these in order to have the best chance of getting noticed. Advantages. Job seekers can tailor their resume to meet the job description. Appropriate, accurate keywords can get the right candidates noticed. Well-tailored applications are less likely to lose out to generic applications. Traditional page limits for resumes are less significant, and the greatest advantage is candidates who have done their homework are rewarded. Disadvantages. Formatting issues can lead to rejection. Tailoring resumes for the system can lead to a loss of focus. Computerized systems can bypass quality candidates, and software algorithms lack human ingenuity and instincts. Therefore, positive personality traits and many soft skills are not factored in. Here are 10 tips to get your resume past applicant tracking systems. Number 1, carefully review the qualifications listed in the job advertisement. Examine the content of the job posting description and make note of keywords. Visit the company website to see if a more detailed job description is available. If the information listed is limited, you can review similar job vacancies on other job sites to gain further insight. You can also research the position's requirements and find out other keywords that are used pertaining to the knowledge and skills that are required in that field. Number 2, incorporate relevant skills in the summary of qualifications on your resume. Make sure you include as many of the key words and phrases that you have identified in the job description as possible. You can use the most critical keywords more than once, but don't go overboard. Remember, always be honest and don't include skills you don't possess as an attempt to trick the ATS in selecting you. The truth will be revealed once you get to the interview stage, and most certainly if you land the position. Number 3, do not submit a generic resume. They are the enemy of the ATS. and will be the first document screened out. Be sure to tailor your resume to each job you are targeting. Remember, the more things that match, the more chance you have to be selected. Before sending out your revised resume, make sure it flows and your writing still sounds natural and well read. There's a great online tool called JobScan, which matches your resume to the job description, and their analysis software lets you know what percentage you're at. The website recommends you have an 80% match to beat the ATS. JobScan does offer 5 free scans for the first month, and then 2 scans a month after that for a maximum of 20 scans. If you want to use their services beyond this capacity, you will have to pay for a premium subscription. Number 4, include dates of your employment. Systems may be screening based on the amount of experience required for a particular job. Keep past employer company names to the left and your dates of duration of employment to the far right of the company name. Number 5, keep the format simple. Avoid fancy graphics, colors, and shading, as plain text Word documents are usually the most easily digested by the tracking systems. PDFs are troublesome, so if possible, do not submit your resume in this format. Margin should be at least 1 inch on all sides. Don't mix different fonts and sizes in your resume. Instead, only use one clear font like Arial or Courier with a size of at least 11 points. It's a good idea to include sectional headers in all caps to make it easy for the tracking system to categorize the information. Use left alignment and avoid putting any important information in the header or footer. Number 6, utilize a somewhat longer document than the traditional 1 to 2 page resume. Since length doesn't typically matter for applicant tracking systems, you can include more detailed information about your past accomplishments. Most systems will generate a summary of your resume data for decision makers and not yield your actual resume. Realize, though, that employers can retrieve your actual document and view it online as well. Also, avoid unnecessary and flowery language that will distract the reader from focusing on your most essential qualifications. Number 7, be cautious when submitting multiple resumes to the same company. Applicant tracking systems have a memory, and all previous submissions remain in the system. You can apply for multiple positions, but make sure the resume information is consistent, as the hiring managers will have access to the other versions as well. Number 8, keep in mind that employers also use software to search the web. Some recruiters will assess your social media presence, so it is very important to cultivate your brand online if you are submitting resumes through the ATS. Make sure the facts represented through your social media profiles are consistent with your resume and applications. Check your privacy settings on all platforms, making what you do not want to be seen private. It also doesn't hurt to remove any embarrassing photo tags or comments you may regret. Better to be prepared than to lose the chance of your dream job. Number 9, remember to check your email regularly after applying for positions online. Applicant tracking systems will acknowledge submissions and then send automated responses, which can be diverted to your spam folder. If the email sits there for a couple weeks, you lose out on a great opportunity. Number 10, don't put all your eggs in the online application basket. Regardless of how well your resume is designed to penetrate the applicant tracking system, you still should place a high priority on networking strategies. Given the flood of online resumes submitted to employers, it helps to have advocates inside organizations pointing out their view that you are a viable candidate. Most employers have an employee referral program, and an endorsement by a member of their staff might enable you to bypass an ATS screen. A couple other things I'd like to add is that if you're working towards a degree or certification that is a requirement for the position you are applying for, make sure you include it on the resume. Use phrasing such as pursuing and the name of your credential, or degree anticipated and the date, to let the recruiter know you are working towards this goal. If you already have a degree, it is best to not only spell out the title, but also use the acronym of the certification or organization to ensure that no word goes unnoticed. For example, if you have a Master of Business Administration, you would add the acronym MBA after writing out the title in full. I can't emphasize enough to check all spelling before submitting your amended resume. Spelling mistakes can completely take you out of the running, no matter how qualified you may be. And ATS will immediately terminate you from the application pool because it simply does not compute what you're trying to say. Double check your resume, and better yet, have a second pair of eyes read over it before sending it to the potential employer. If you land an in-person interview from an online application, make sure you take the copy of the resume you submitted online so that it matches the information they already have. Bottom line, applicant tracking systems are difficult to overcome, but certainly achievable. Don't be discouraged. It will take some extra work on your part, but the more you know about the ATS and how to work in sync with them, the faster you'll get through the system and land an interview. I wish you great success in your quest to find that perfect job.